Aquarius, this is all about you. This is your weekly oracle and tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries. We're going to do the weekly reading here for the tarot card spread. That's in the link below. We're going to do the oracle card reading here. So this is Aquarius, sun, moon, a rising sign, or anywhere that Aquarius affects your natal chart. You can apply these energies for the week ahead. Let's get into it, Aquarius. The one thing I had to say to you right up front was, don't you hate when something doesn't make sense? You can almost feel it. You can always suss it out. You can almost sense that something just doesn't make any sense. Like there's an oddity and a nonsensical aspect to it that sort of sticks in your head and gnaws at you and doesn't let it be. So that may be what this whole mood this week is, this sense of something just not making sense, and it kind of almost taking over your mind and making you think, well, I've got to figure this out, because this is a temptation beyond temptation, a conundrum for my beautiful brain to solve, something that I need to make sense of. And I think it has something to do with what's going on socially in your life. Let's see what the crowning energy is for you this week, Aquarius. Let's just keep shuffling and see. So Aquarius week ahead, sun, moon, and rising sign. Also know, guys, that yes, there will be one commercial interruption during this reading. I will not let it interrupt the message to you, and I will let you know right before it's coming. Let's see yeah, I just have this sense that you're on to something. Let's put it that way. You're on to something. So it's sort of like your nose knows. I would trust your intuition and instincts. I'm not sure that you care enough to dig deeper into it. So let me just say this right now. You're right. Let's get into this reading. Crowning energy. Embrace the in-between. See, this is that mucky in-between. Now, this is you making the in-between look good. This is waiting or watching and wanting to see. This is the figuring out time. This is that energy of you got this energy recently too in another reading, because this is very Aquarian energy. I mean, you really show up when you show up. You almost can't help but being enigmatic yourself. This sense of mystery as you solve a mystery. This sense of loving in the in-between because of the challenge that it poses. It's almost like this week is set to make you want to think of things or understand things, figure things out. There seems to be, even it could be applied to your relationships, your work. There seems to be this sense of nothing is settled and nothing is set in stone yet. That something is still in question. There's this big question mark over, like, riddle me this, Aquarians. And you're all into figuring out the riddle. But at the same time, thank God you can distance your heart a little bit, because there might be some really huge disappointment here. But because you see things in the way of one question after another, the higher perspective, the oversight, the understanding of the larger story, I think that you know intuitively that you don't have anything to worry about. Ultimately, even if you are stuck in this period of what's happening, what's going on, non-growth, being held back a little bit, you still are so intrigued by the forces that be, whatever is keeping you where you are right now. You know that there's something to figure out. It's like master clue detective work. That's what I think. I feel like this week you're in your own personal escape room and you're loving it. You're loving it because there's so much to figure out, and you know that at the end of the week you're going to get out of it anyway. There doesn't seem to be a sense of fear. There seems to be a sense of flair to you this week. You're just owning where you are right now. Ultimately, I think that the energy here is you're the winner. You're the winner because you know that there's a higher picture here. You know that there's something more at play, Aquarius, than has anything to do with you. And so why should you even care about it? Why should you let it get you down? Because You aren't down, you're above. So this is about standing above the in-between and not letting the frustration, not getting frustrated or not letting it make you afraid. This is about standing above it all and being okay. You also seem, I swear to God, you seem to be shining as well. There's a sense of people finally being aware of your amazingness, Aquarians. We are pitching closer and closer to the age of Aquarius, the dawning of your time when you will be leading for the next, what is it? Is it like 10 to 20,000 years, something like that? Each age lasts quite some time. So we're all gearing up to be in this sort of Aquarius sensibility of the in-between is also a balanced place to be, right? So this could very well be a very peaceful energy as well. But you have quite a few cards out here. So let's get into this reading. Let Spirit be your guide. Once again, this aerial perspective, this understanding of the truth behind something, as well as a warning coming in. But it's almost like you're getting the warnings and you're believing them. So it's not that there's a lack of trouble, but there's a lack of fear of that trouble because you understand where this is heading. And whatever the cause, whatever the impetus, there is something on the other side of it that's going to extinguish it. And you know it and you see it. And so you're just sort of letting it happen and letting it play out in front of you. Overcome any obstacle. Like I said, there is definitely a mentality to you this week of you're not going to let anything get to you. This is some major Taurus energy too. You can wear that crown on your head. You can have this sort of abstract, obscure, really brilliant and interesting combination of the beautiful and the ugly, the beautiful beast, the gentle giant, something that doesn't make sense, something that's the juxtaposition this week is the beautiful thing about this week to you. So it could be very well that you're deciding where you want to be, or do you still want to be in a relationship? Does the relationship work for you? It doesn't even have to be about a relationship. Maybe in the between of finding a new job, but you're actually enjoying the discovery process, Aquarius, in a way that is admirable. Really, look, this beautiful rhino is wearing this little tiny crown. It's like, I got my crown on. I know that I'm amazing. I know that I'm a king. I don't need anybody else's approval. I don't need the conversation. You're floating around in your own world, Aquarius, and I think that's where you want to be. For some reason, there's this sense of retreat. Love is all around you. Yeah, I think people are loving on you. I think you're fascinating them. I think your aloofness this week is what's taking everybody by storm. There's going to be messages, hoots and hollers, people calling out to you, a lot of praise of you, your performance, who you are, your mentality, your projects, your work, things like this you're going to be praised for this week. And I have to say this, even that isn't going to distract you. There's a sense of how can you be distracted when you're happy in the distraction. It's like you don't want the answer to the question because you're having so much fun with the question itself. It's almost like you're prolonging the answer to the question because if you wanted it, you could have it right now. But you don't want it because this is so much fun. This could also speak to you not making a choice, not deciding you don't want to be in a relationship, or you're keeping things like in between in terms of your relationships. You don't want to make a commitment. There's a sense of I'm more comfortable not saying what this is right now because I'm really happy with not having that obligation right now. Be playful. You want to keep things on the surface this week. Or if somebody tries to suck you down into those depths, don't let them. This is a week where you got to stay on the surface. Aquarius, be happy, have fun, and enjoy yourself. And I think that's the mentality that you're in right now. These are two birds. Look, flamenco spirit as well as sandpiper spirit, both standing on one leg. Balance. You're finding a balance in not making a commitment to either side. And you know what I think partially this has to do with? You letting people fight for you. You wanting to see who is going to deserve you most. It could be two different employers. It could be two different potential relationship partners. It could be many, many things. But the bottom line is you're enjoying allowing people to sort of prove themselves to you and prance in front of you. This is a really good position for you to be in. There is a sense that you could very well be playing people too. Bring your ideas to life, but it's in reverse, which means you're holding back your energy. You're not even at half energy right now. Interesting. Sing your own song is also in reverse. So you're staying quiet and aloof. Ooh, Aquarius, you was playing this game. You're staying quiet and aloof. You're not going to complain. You're going to let everybody else complain, let them take the hits, let them take the bullets, and then you're going to walk out standing. It's like you're the king or queen standing behind the infantry. You're going to let them take the bullets so that you can walk out when all the fighting is over. In other words, you're going to let other people speak up. You know that there's something up. But you've also learned from life experiences it doesn't really matter. So what you're doing is you're focused on your life, your way, your positivity, yourself, and your goals. You're not letting anybody else or the ambiguity or the muckiness and the murk. You're not letting that get to you. You're letting them all fight it out. And you're just staying quiet and you're watching and you're waiting. Spirit has a plan. That's upside down too, though. There's a real sense. I have to say, if I had to put one word on this reading, it's ambiguity. Somehow, for some reason, you have removed yourself from caring. And that may seem really powerful, Aquarius, but I would really like to know why. Tend to the small things. This is Virgo energy. Interesting, because this would be energy that suggests that you're analyzing the details. So maybe that's what this is. This is your face. Your game face is saying, I don't care. But underneath the surface, you're really investigating really deep. Like I said, you're sort of your own little private eye this week, trying to figure things out, trying to understand the particulars of something. Details aren't necessarily your favorite unless it has to do with something that you're obsessed with. And if so, you're all up in those details. And I think there is a sense of you being all up in these details this week. Watch out for the details, especially that's, I think it's the best statement that I can make for you. Watch out for the details this week, Aquarius. I think that you're definitely doing a great job making people think that you don't care, making people think that you're aloof and staying out of all this. But you're not at all. You're not at all. I don't think that you're manipulating. No, that's not true. I think that you're manipulating somebody very, very particular, or if not the system itself, in that you're not manipulating it. You're watching it. You're spying on it, and them allowing you to get really close by putting up this guise of, I don't care. Everything's cool. Everything's cool here. I don't even know what you're talking about. That kind of thing. There is it's almost like the magician mentality with you this week of see what's going on up here and then something's going on behind your back. I'm not getting a manipulative vibe from you. I'm getting a detective vibe from you. You are figuring something out. And I really want to know what it is. The devil is in the details, man. Beaver spirit, lay a solid foundation. I think that you think something that is your foundation may be at risk. I think that you think that there is something awry. And the only way to get close to it is to be standing right next to it and making it think that you are not aware at all. Yeah, this really has to do with give me a second, Aquarius. because this is really interesting energy. This is, see, the thing is this. I don't, and maybe you're tricking me, because I don't feel that you feel threatened. I don't feel that you feel defensive. There's no defensiveness coming out. But there is a sense of, I know what you did last summer. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's the vibe, and maybe that's why you're so calm, because you've already figured everything out. You've already discovered everything. And this could have to do with a very intimate relationship in your life. Figuring out that somebody else, with somebody else's true intentions, finding out the details of maybe why somebody left you for somebody else, trying to understand why now somebody who dated you dumped you and now they have 10 million kids with somebody else. Also, maybe somebody that dumped you trying to come back into your life after having kids with somebody else. Interesting. And them using another person to try to do it. And you're remaining very aloof about the whole thing. You don't want to talk about it. And I'll tell you why you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it because it hurt you a great deal. This disappointment, whatever it was, whether it had been relationships or work, this disappointment hurt you a great deal. And you don't like that kind of suffering. You don't like that kind of vulnerability. It's something that naturally you're able to protect yourself from. You know, you don't forget about protecting yourself. You usually don't let it bog you down to begin with, because you're happily distracted by a dozen different things that could take your interest and like better places to put your mind. You know, but this actually got into your heart. And now all of a sudden this could be one of the possibilities is now this person is coming back in your life full steam ahead. Oh, I want to talk to you. Let's talk. Can we talk? No, that would be your answer. 150%, that would be your answer. Now is a lucky time for you, Aquarius. A lucky time. Now is a time for you to multiply. Maybe this is you having children, or you getting pregnant, or your future coming to you, and accolades and praise coming to you. And you don't have time for somebody who took time away from you. And that's what they did. They took time away from you. Very interesting to take time away from somebody who's ruled by Uranus. Because Uranus, it has an abstract relationship with time. Interesting. It's almost like, because you have a charitable heart, you feel like, well, if this opportunity is coming back around again, I need to talk to them, or I need to consider it, because it used to mean so much to me. You don't need to do anything of the sort, Aquarius. You have no obligation. But there's something about the situation that, as much as you're trying to remain aloof, and it could very well be just your pride, it gets to your pride. That's the solution. Let it get to your pride. The person who put you out, it was a similar reading for you a couple of weeks ago, and this may be the same person. The person who put you out is now coming back around and wants you. That's what it was. And this is like, you're not interested. You're absolutely not interested. And you're saddened. There's that aloofness. That's what this almost numbness on the surface was trying to hide. A great, deep, unabiding sadness. That's what this week is about. It is about the truth and of the sorrow of the level of disappointment that you had to go through at this person's expense. And the fact that they would have the nerve to come back into your life in any capacity is unacceptable. And you know what, Aquarius? Call them out on it. By calling them out on it and pointing out, wow, you literally chose this mousy, idiotic, big-eyed BS over me and wasted all this time and then got smacked down. And this is my time. I'm in the spotlight here. There's a serious sense of hurt, but I'll tell you what, this is a blessing from Pluto. It is clearing out that part of you that you hid for very long under a Great Wall of China, thick layer of I don't care. You were dancing and tiptoeing and trying to pretend that everything was okay. The truth was you were gutted. And I want you to share that this week. I want you to share it with everybody who will listen. This person gutted me. And the truth is, a little tiny part of me, as petty as this may be, was very, very happy that they ended up turning around and having to swallow a little bit of their own suffering. I didn't pray for it. I didn't wish for it. I didn't manifest it. But I'm sure as heck happy that karma is a bigger you-know-what than I am, and came back around and nipped them in the butt themselves. I love that basically all this emotion is going to come out of you this week, Aquarius, because it needs to. This is Pluto's last gift as we exit Scorpio season. This is our last full week of Scorpio season. Our last full week of Scorpio season, is going to allow you to release all of this pent up sadness. And maybe the reason why other relationships or opportunities, it's almost like you had to numb so many aspects of yourself just to hide that piece of pain away. And now that piece of pain gets to come out. Just let it out. This is your freedom that's being offered to you, Aquarius. This is your soul back, because you never lost your soul. It's almost like you had to bury it really, really deep under a bottle of hurt and disappointment that was almost like doing them a favor. I'm not going to let them get to me. I'm not going to let them think that they have any power over me. I'm not going to let them see me cry. Let them see you cry. Let the whole world see you cry and how they made you cry. This is not a time to hold back. This is a time to let it out and not care what anybody else thinks about you, because this is about you having time to heal. This is about your time to cleanse, because you have a lot of beautiful things coming into you. A lot of small things that are adding up. A beautiful house made out of cemented pebbles. You know what I'm saying? Is all the little things are finally going to be adding up, and you're going to be vindicated, and you're going to be correct, and you're going to be right, and gosh darn it, the world needs to know it, and they should know it. Don't hold it back or hide it, because no, then people would know it meant so much to me. It did mean so much to you. It does mean so much to you. You were hurt. This was real suffering and real pain, and you do not have to hide it or go through it alone. I mean, there's a big difference between I don't want to let him see me cry and I'm almost protecting or helping out this other circumstance by being quiet, by not talking about it, by pretending like I'm balanced, I have this all together. Because no, you freaking don't. 2323, that's already telling me, because I'm seeing the time, the timestamp down here, that's already telling me, Aquarius, that this has to do with a very, like a divine counterpart, a soulmate, or a relationship of some sort. Now, the link is below. I want to dig deeper into this with tarot. I did not tell you when the commercial was going to come. I'll try to find a load time during the reading. It doesn't really matter. What matters now is I'm going to go over to Vimeo, do a full tarot spread, get a little bit deeper into what's going on in this other person's mind, and what's going on in this other person's mind, and the outcome of basically being brutally honest. And then we'll do your love reading as well. So I'll see you over there, Aquarius.